Thanks for the second kit, Gary. I'm digging the two different colors, like Christmas in the garage, red and green, huh? So I'm still using the TIP 42C circuit that I built based on your schematic. It's at 450K times 4 in series for the resistance, and then one single 1N4148 diode, as well as the TIP 42C transistor. That's driving the primary down there. This is the collector coil, which is the 5-turn from the original kit I bought. These are the two new coils from the second kit I bought from you. So it's still going out through the bridge, and I'm measuring only off of a single half-wave bridge point. Right. This is the output waveform. And it's running on the 1.5 volt circuit. So what's curious is 1.5 volts, I'm getting that kind of a waveform, but that's because of this connection up here. So this is a 1 PF capacity. One leg is connected to this alligator clip, which is connected to the top of the base secondary, and the other one is just floating. It's put relatively close over here, but otherwise it's just floating. So watch the waveform of it. If I disconnect the top lead from the base coil, then it's disconnected. So you see I'm getting like a 12 volt wiggle. But just because that capacity is added and put in location next to that other coil, now I get 21 volts instead of 12 volts. And it's a much more funky looking waveform. And like I said, that's running off a single D cell. Single TIP 42C. What I've done is I've got this coil and this coil are both wired up to the positive back here, and then that coil over there is wired to the negative. So I have it's basically the TIP 42 circuit, but with an extra coil on the positive bus and an extra coil on directly the negative bus, and then they're offset, as you can see there. Let's see. This is the secondary coil. These are both on the positive bus, and this is on the negative bus. And with the capacity wired over to this guy, we get that higher wiggle. And it's the same, really, if you take it and move it to the other side. I gotta get it just right, but you'll notice the waveform's a little different. A little different, but it still has the multiple peaks and whatnot because of the added capacity that's not quite shorted out. If I actually short out the other leg, if I actually short this other leg here, you know, that's what you get. You get butkus. It drops by like 4 volts instead of going up by 8 volts. Just having it local there is what gets you the bandana. Let's see. So it's just sitting on the top there, floating. Anyway, thought that was curious, so figured I'd share. Just got that second kit this morning, and wanted to plug those in and goof around with that a little bit and see what kind of amplitudes could be generated off of the 1.5 volts. So when it was just these two coils, I actually put this little .7 UF 450 volt cap on there. So I put that on the output of the half wave, and I got about 5 volts out. So, I mean, this scoping is nice, and it notes you the 14 volts or whatever it was showing, 12 to 14 volts. But when that actually charges a capacitor, it's much less, maybe a third of what's actually scoped. So, still, 5 volts is over 1.5 volts. So, in theory, if I had the right size SIDAC, I could take that and flush it back out into the 1 volt battery, into the D volt. Anyway, so that's what it is. Thanks again. Something to do.